As of 7th May 2020, the number of COVID cases in India have crossed the 52,000 mark with nearly 1,700 deaths. Though these numbers are still quite terrific, but we can safely say that India has done very well in containing the spread of this virus. But before India could completely recover from the chaos caused by this COVID-19 pandemic, we once again have been horrified by another incident. Yes, I am talking about the recent gas leak incident which took place in Vizag, which is also called as the Visakhapatnam. A poisonous gas was leaked from the containers of a company called as LG Polymers India Limited, which claimed more than 10 lives and nearly 3,000 people are seriously ill. Very sensitive and disturbing images of people and animals falling on the ground losing their consciousness are being circulated on social media. The effects of this gas leak are being felt by people and animals staying within 3 kilometers range of this company. The leaked poisonous gas is called as styrene gas. So in today's lazy lesson, we shall understand what is this styrene gas, where is it used, and what are its effects on human beings, and what has India learnt from previous such tragedies and where India failed today. Here, the main culprit behind this tragedy is said to be the styrene gas. So the source of the gas leak was a styrene plant owned by LG Polymers India Limited, which is located near Visakhapatnam. Vizag is located on the eastern coast of India in the state of Andhra Pradesh. On the northern side, we have the state of Odisha. On its southern side, we have the Bay of Bengal. So what actually happened was, at around 3 am, the leakage of styrene gas from one of the tanks of this company started. During this time, most of the people were in deep sleep, but few sensed the foul smell of this gas and felt suffocation. So they started running out of their houses and started dialing the emergency numbers. So who were majorly affected? Majorly affected people included people living in villages surrounding this vicinity. And at around 4 am, the police were informed and tried to enter this vicinity. However, they could not enter the affected villages because of this foul smell. And the company claims that they were successfully able to stop the leakage at around 6 am. So between these 3 hours, more than 4,000 people were majorly affected by this gas leak. So what is then this styrene gas, why it is so poisonous, and why this LG Polymers India Limited was using this gas? Basically, styrene gas is a poisonous, inflammable gas used in plastic engineering industries. It has wide range of applications. It is mainly used in construction industry, automotive industry, consumer industry, and in packaging, and also in electricals. It is also used in the manufacture of tires, toys, shoe soles, asphalt sheets, etc. Besides, it is commonly used in computers, mobile phones, electrical components, medical devices, and even toys. So in essence, we can say that the styrene derivatives are quite widely used in our day-to-day activities. Using this poisonous chemical gas, LG Polymers India manufactured a number of products, including electric fan blades, cups and cutlery, and even containers for cosmetic products. While this horrific incident was taking place, only 1/3 of the workforce was working in this company because of the lockdown imposed. This incident has once again raised questions on Indian industrial safety standards. This particular incident today reminds many people of the 1984 Bhopal gas tragedy. On that day, that is December 3rd, 1984, a chemical called as methyl isocyanate gas leaked from Union Carbide pesticide plant. The incident mainly was triggered because of the inflow of water into a tank containing 42 tons of MIC chemical. Nearly 6 lakh people were exposed to this poisonous gas, and immediately 8,000 people died. That is within 2 weeks, and thereafter 8,000 more died. And in 1989, the company paid nearly $470 million as compensation. And what was more horrific was, after this incident, the stillbirth rate went up by 300% and neonatal mortality rate by 200%. Please note here, stillbirth is defined as fetal death at or after 20 to 28 weeks of pregnancy. It basically results in a baby born without signs of life. So even today, this incident is considered to be the world's worst industrial disaster. It's been more than 35 years since this incident took place, but even today the effects can be felt. The long-term effects include psychological, neurological and even respiratory problems. It is not just the Bhopal gas tragedy, even the 21st century has witnessed many such similar incidents. Such similar incidents include the GAIL pipeline blast in Andhra Pradesh in 2014, a gas leak in 2017 and Bhilai steel plant blast in 2018. So despite having various requirements for industrial safety standards, why do such incidents keep occurring again and again? Well, the main reasons for this are lack of monitoring and improper implementation of the guidelines. So what kind of preparedness is required now? The first requirement is to have a on-site as well as off-site plan. On-site plan here means capacity building for the people within the industry. This mainly includes people working in that particular industry. These people should be imparted with basic knowledge and awareness of hazardous gases or chemicals being used in that particular industry. Basically, these workers should be made aware with various do's and don'ts when such accidents happen. Besides, mock drills should be regularly conducted. These are on-site preparedness. Now, off-site plan refers to planning outside the area of the industry. Here, people or villages within the vicinity of this industry should be given awareness. It is because their participation and cooperation is very crucial so that panics and rumors can be avoided, and these things are very crucial. The significance of such off-site plans was felt very much necessary after the Bhopal gas tragedy. After the Bhopal gas tragedy, the need for a disaster management institute was felt. Now there are such institutes, but more and more such institutes should be set up across the country, and specific graduation courses must be made available in such institutes. And moreover, there must be a good connection and coordination with the local authority, police, media and fire stations, so that during such incidents a collective coordinated action is ensured. And besides, training and knowledge should be imparted to these agencies, and crucial part here is that of local authorities who review license and check the safety standards of these industries every now and then. Moreover, local authorities should map vulnerable areas, vulnerable sites or name some spots as hotspots, and the district authorities should maintain the database of such sites. So only with such kind of preparedness can we face such incidents and have minimal effect on health as well as the lives. So that was it for today guys. Thank you.